was the calmest shot I feel like I've ever taken.
Well, I just shot my buck. It just happens that fast.
Yes! I just hammered a big buck in the Edmonton Bowzone, and you're watching Bowzone Live.
Annihilator presents Bowzone Live is brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads and these fine sponsors.
Welcome to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live from the Wild TV studios. Tom Gazzola alongside Michelle Van Dam in the co-host chair today. As we went off the air last show, we had Logan Johnson pegged to sit in that chair. But Michelle, you decided to change all of that yesterday when your arrow hit its mark. Tell us about what happened yesterday.
Yesterday was such a great day in the stand. In the morning, so I shot my buck around noon, and I rattled in 4 bucks at once. Maybe about an hour before I grunted in that buck, who had come to 20 yards, completely broadside. Stars aligned for me, and I seized the opportunity. So,
job well done. Morning. Yeah, there we go. We're going to see that later on as well. Kevin Wilson hit his mark. He'll join us today and tell us about his hunt. There's some of his footage. We'll also catch up with Logan Johnson. Indeed, we've held him out of the co-host chair, but we will find out more about how his hunt went. We have 4 deer down, and we'll tell you about all of them. And as well, we've had some late breaking news as we see Taylor Thomson helping out his buddy Steve. Gunther Tondelier, right there, late today, Michelle. First day, as you were saying before we went to air. Unbelievable, good stuff from Gunther. So we'll catch up with Logan and we'll get the whole story about his hunt and his buck, Tony, when we come back here on Bowzone Live.
My tip is if you're sitting out there for any length of time, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, get up every half an hour, draw your bow so nothing freezes and your body doesn't seize up. Keep yourself warm, try to keep in the game because it's pretty tough sitting in a tree for 8 hours straight by yourself in minus 30 conditions without losing it. You got to keep your body moving as well because when that big whitetail comes up, you got to be ready for him. You can't freeze up.
Welcome back to Bowzone Live. Michelle Van Dam, like I said, in studio with us today. Joining us as well, the man who set off this flurry of activity. It's Logan Johnson. Logan, welcome back to the program. As always, great to have you. How have the last few days gone for you and your buck, Tony?
I mean, I've been battling out there, same thing as everybody else. It's been a really tough November. I did a few all-day sits where not one shooter buck was seen. And finally it all came together for me on the 24th out of the blue. And to be honest, now that this gross weather has moved in, I'm pretty happy to be somewhere warm.
How does it compare, or how does Tony compare to Ricky? I know Ricky was like the dream for you and how pumped up you were last year, but tell us a little bit about Tony.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Ricky's still the dream deer. I think I said it earlier. He's, that was just the craziest situation. I mean, the amount of time that I was trying to meet up with him, but not to take anything away from this deer. He's a spectacular buck, mature, just what you really want to see in one of those big Bowzone whitetails, and I'm super pumped to have him.
Logan, let's take a look at Tony.
Good morning, everybody. Just got to my hunting spot, have a big buck that's been coming through on trail camera, and I finally got the wind to play it smart. So I'm gonna sneak in, see what happens today. Hopefully there's some wicked action. Wish me luck.
that monster. Well, at least there's something. First deer by the stand today. Yes! Got one! I think I hit him back a little and high, but there is blood everywhere. These annihilators just destroyed him. I did 2 all-day sits the past 2 days. Was almost completed my 3rd all-day sit in a row. It was 10 hours on stand each day. It was getting a little tiring, but we got it done. I'm tagged out on the 24th of November. Couldn't be happier. It was one of our main target bucks in this area. Let's go find this thing. The Annihilator and Easton Arrow worked awesome. Look at that blood. Blood started pouring really heavy 2 steps after I hit him. It's gonna be a pretty easy blood trail to follow. And he's right there. What did he go? Maybe 50 yards, maybe? Well, here he is. 2022 whitetail deer. I'm super excited. It's been a tough year. There's been lots of changes with weather, farmers changing their fields. The deer have been really hard to keep up with, and especially the big bucks. I haven't had too many opportunities at shooting anything mature yet this year. And wow, was I surprised when this guy walked over the hill. It was a lot of quiet for a lot of hours. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, right before 4 o'clock, I heard a crash. He came up over a hill, kind of angling down the hill toward me, really. And I stopped him for a shot at 30 yards, and I had to lean way out of my tree stand and move the camera arm way over to the other side. I squeezed off a shot. I did hit him back a little bit, but the blood trail was a short one, and that's how we like it. Those Annihilators ate him up. Super pumped to be here on Bowzone Live and tag out again. We all know how tough of a battle it is and can be, and oh, I'm just speechless.
Big smile there. Logan Johnson joining us live. Still got that smile on his face. Michelle, watching that story and seeing the visuals, what do you got for Logan?
Well, I was going to ask you how far he went, but you answered that question. He went like 50 yards, so that's awesome. I was going to ask you if did he pop out from somewhere you didn't expect, or were you hoping he'd come down that way?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the rut, and deer can come from absolutely anywhere. I do think he came to a rattle. I didn't rattle, right before he came in. It definitely wasn't an instant thing. But he came from a spot that I never would have guessed. How he rolled over that hill and didn't take the trail that most of the deer were using really made it tough, because I had to guess and move the camera way over to my left. And so I pushed the camera over and basically had to guess what was in view. So what you see in the camera isn't what I saw. So when I stopped that deer and shot, drew my bow on the right side of the tree, all I could see was the front half of the deer. So it's crazy looking back at the footage I got. Like I said, I didn't even know if I, got it in frame, but it worked out awesome.
Yeah, the footage was great too. Awesome job indeed. Great work, fantastic camera work, and successful hunt. Thank you as always, my friend. Great to catch up with you. Job well done, sir. Coming up next, we're going to see Michelle's deer and have a look at that footage as well. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. All right, Michelle, we're about to see the full story of your hunt yesterday. What else do we need to know about it? What can you tell us leading into it?
Well, I hope all the details are in the video, but everything was honestly just so perfect. Everything, the stars aligned for me. So I couldn't be happier with how the whole day went yesterday. So yeah.
Let's take a look.
Yeah.
I got a couple nice bucks on my camera yesterday in a spot I haven't been hunting because I haven't seen any big bucks. So they cruised by at about noon. I'll submit the pictures of the bucks. Anyways, my heart stopped and I came here first thing in the morning, and it has been non-stop action since I came and sat down. Even the squirrels and the birds. Squirrels have been going crazy since I sat. It's a beautiful day. It's like +8. Wind is good for me. I've already had a couple coyotes. I had a coyote under my stand, but over all the squirrels and the birds, I thought I heard something, but the squirrels are all around me too, and it was just a couple small steps that I heard of him, and I spooked him, and I'm trying to get a coyote with that from my tree stand. So anyways, I don't want to be too long because I also don't want to run on a battery for any more filming I need to do in case I shoot a big buck. Anyways, that's my day so far. I'll keep you posted as action keeps transpiring. We are getting rained on. Like, legit rained on. At first it was just frozen little droplets. But now I'm soaked. My wool coat is now wet. My pants are wet. Even my hair that I just straightened it. Anyways, I'll try to tough it out and see how long I can hold off without getting too cold. this trail here and come out right at my 20-yard mark. right in that spot. And I know he's not the biggest buck, but I don't know how many more opportunities I'm gonna get. And I like when things come together so perfectly, and when things just feel right. You know what? It felt right. His body looked old. His rack wasn't big, but that's okay. I'm also into filling my tags, and I'm also into meat, and everything just seemed perfect and right. And even when I drew, it was the perfect timing with him walking out, with him being behind a few trees as I drew, and everything lined up. Everything was perfect. He honestly went 4 yards. It was the cleanest, quickest, most ethical kills. And I'm happy about that. It was good. I had a great day. I'm just really thankful and grateful. Well, there he is. I think I've passed up a couple bucks that were a little bigger than him, but that's okay. I enjoy the sport. I love doing this. It's a beautiful day. I had a great opportunity, and I took it. It was the second last day of my hunt, or of hunting, and I filled the tag.
Yes, indeed, Michelle Van Dam, congratulations.
Thank you.
Punched your ticket to the co-host seat, doing great here on Bowzone Live. Tell us a little bit about the situation with that buck, because you said there was a couple of moments that were key there before he wound up in a perfect spot for you, before you even had to stop him.
Yeah, he was coming down a cut line in the back. There's kind of a T that they mostly travel. And so he was making his way south, and he came to a fence, and he was just about to jump it, and I grunted. And I stopped him, and he turned, and he came down that trail that leads to the 20-yard mark, or 20-yard trail that I have right in front of me. And yeah, it was just so perfect the way it all worked out.
Great footage as well. A sharpshooter, not only with the bow, but with the camera as well. Congratulations, Michelle. Job well done. Coming up next, we'll catch up with Kevin and his hunt as well. Fantastic job there for Kevin Wilson. We'll catch up with the master after this. Welcome back to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live. I'm Tom Gazzola with Michelle Van Dam in the co-host seat, and Kevin Wilson joining us now from the comfort of his home. Looks like he's got a big smile on his face, very content with things and how they've gone. Kevin, you're a hunter who's really studied these animals and has a strong understanding of the science behind what's happening out there. Last show, we talked about how no one was seeing anything. What's been going on out there with whitetail deer in the last week, and what's changed?
Like Logan said, and we've all said, it's been a tough November. A very different kind of rut. We're past the lockdown, of course. We went through the second estrus, and we're kind of at the tail end of the second estrus now. These next few days could be crazy. The biggest bucks are breaking loose, and they're traveling now.
How about the conditions, Kev? Because I know it's been pretty nice the last little while. When we saw Michelle's story, she had rain yesterday, and then things kind of cleared up, and now all of a sudden we're getting one of those classic northern Alberta cold fronts coming in. How's that going to affect things as we look at the forecast there?
That's almost anyone's bet. Every whitetail hunter has been waiting for cold weather, in hopes that it makes them move more. But the reality is this, as soon as we get to the end of the second estrus, the focus on the does. That's the bottom line. Does, even scrape lines right now. I mean, bucks are on the scrape lines. You got to have either food, does, or scrape lines. And that's really the bottom line, especially as we go into these last few days. And it's going to be spot on the spot hunting. If you get lucky, you get lucky. But the reality is you got to increase your odds by getting on those key spots.
Kevin, let's find out if you got lucky right here.
This year I'm using the Boley cell cams. They're incredible. They're easy to use, super sensitive, and the image clarity is second to none. Right away I get notifications on my cell phone, and I can't wait to see what we come up with during the rut in terms of images.
Trying something new today. I put up a stand in a really tight bottleneck between two big blocks of timber. It's a lot more open than where I've been sitting. There's two really good trails coming through, and they kind of intersect off to my left. It's November 22nd now. We should be starting to get into the second round pretty hard, so I have high hopes for the next few days. Well, finally a buck came through. He was moving pretty fast. So he's on a mission. He's looking for does. Stopped a little bit, kind of ignored the bleat, the can call, and just kept going on his way. We're coming to the end of our day here, and it is exhausting. I've only seen one buck today, but this is the part of the game that's really mental. It's tough. It's tough to sit long hours, full days, and not see much. But that's part of the game, and it can all turn around in literally seconds. Tomorrow's a new day, new things can happen, so that's how I get through myself. Until tomorrow. Folks, it's November 23rd. The second estrus has definitely kicked into gear now. I got bucks traveling all over the place here. I've already had 3 come by. I think I've been in the stand for an hour, and they're looking hard. Been another great day in the Bowzone. Big guys still aren't moving that much, but a little more activity today. It's getting dark. I'm getting hungry. I'm getting down. Time to go get some food. Now November 26th. I tried a different stand. I hadn't been in here for quite a while. It's a long, long walk in here. It's about 45 minutes to get in. I'm just not feeling it here. I did see a couple small bucks, actually 3 with a button buck this morning. But I got a stand up on top of the ridge that I think might have a little more activity. So I'm gonna pack up, move up there, and spend the rest of the day up there. Gotta find these big bucks. They gotta be somewhere. Okay, so I moved stands. Been in this one for about an hour now, and I see this little better buck coming in. He looks like he's just barely a 5x5. Still a young deer. So we can keep waiting. It's a game of patience. Just got to put in your time. Yeah, baby, I just shot my buck. And he's down right there. Well, I just shot my buck. It just happens that fast. You know, I mentioned before in the show, I'm a guy that hunts in the moment. I was holding out for something really big, but the reality is this was a perfect scenario. We're getting down to the last 3 days. And you know what? He's a really nice buck. He gave me a perfect shot, like 15 yards, and he's down right there. So let's go take a look at him. There he is. Yeah, that went right through the neck, right through the boiler room there. I was aiming with that steep angle. So you always think exit, right? So it went in a little bit high, looks like, and I bet on the other side it's perfect. He went down immediately. Well, folks, here he is. You know, if you're a bow hunter and you played this game where you try to hold out for a giant deer, you know, it's one thing to try to kill one with a bow. It's another thing to try to film it. If you can self-film it and get a decent buck with a bow, man, I'll tell you what, things have really aligned. Anyway, I told you I hunt in the moment. Well, I do. And this moment was spectacular. Watching him come in and work that scrape and give me like a 15-yard shot, that was incredible. And to top it off, he went down in like 30 yards. So instantly died, which is great. That's something every bow hunter should strive for. So this is it, my 2022 whitetail tag folded. You're watching Bowzone Live.
Kevin Wilson, job well done yet again here on Bowzone Live. Michelle, you had something for Kevin watching that, right?
I was just going to say that conversation that we had earlier this afternoon on shot placement and your shot and how you had angled it, how it was so perfect for you, and you explained it really well. So I just thought if you were to explain it to the viewers too.
Yeah. I mean, you know, as a team, we discuss shot placement a lot, and we always encourage broadside or quartering away. But the reality is that angle and that shot placement is textbook and is perfect as here where it belongs. So, you know, that one, and so in my head, I've just learned to always think exit. And so I'm thinking about where that arrow is going to go and where it's going to exit. So in reality, it actually went in kind of high on the neck and exited perfectly under the armpit. So it took all the vitals out, and he just didn't even hardly take a step. He just piled shoulder down and pushed himself 30 yards, probably done in 7 seconds.
Job well done, Kevin. Listen, we talked a little bit about the weather, that it was going to change shortly here. How do you think that's going to affect our hunters, and what's going on with Heather? Fill us in on Heather, because I know she's got a busy few days coming up, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, yeah. You know, the weather is taking a turn for the worse. The wind is awful. And, you know, we're dealing with heavy winds. We're dealing with increasingly cold weather, so it's plummeting. It's going to be tough conditions. Heather's working her butt off like the rest of the team members, still hoping to get it done. I actually think she might, and she's got a really good chance. She's on something special, so we'll see how she turns out. I wish everybody on the team all the best going forward, for sure.
We're definitely rooting for Heather. Great stuff, Kevin. Congratulations again. One more thing that we do want to throw out there is Keith McDonald, speaking of the conditions, he actually sent this in to us. We're going to take a look at what Keith had for us.
Tonight I'm going to be talking about the dangers of the wind. So this stand isn't very high. We're only about maybe 15 feet up. But with this wind blowing, the tree is constantly swaying, and I'm pretty good in a tree stand. I don't mind standing up or twisting around. I'm pretty good on them. I don't want to stand up. As soon as I stand up, I'm hanging on to my rope because this wind will blow you. It'll make you take you right off balance. It's pretty dangerous. If it gets any worse, we're probably going to climb down. And it's also not conducive to a long shot. If I have to take a 40-yard poke out to there, how much is my arrow going to move? You know, I'm not here to punch a big buck in the guts. If I can't make that 100% kill shot, I'm not going to take it. So if you're going out there and you're not very versed in a tree stand, I'd say stay home today because it's pretty scary. I don't even like standing up right now. As soon as this is done, I'm going to sit back down and sit it out and wait for dark.
Kevin, you're a proponent for safety. What did you make of the video that Keith sent in today?
You know, I couldn't actually hear a lot of it, but I saw the wind, and you know, it really becomes, you have to make decisions about the safety. All of our team members, we really insist on lifelines, safety lines, you know, being harnessed on from the time you leave the ground to the time you're up top to the time you go back down. Absolutely critical. I know Heather actually decided to get down today, which is something she doesn't do. She sits all day, almost always. And it just was not safe at one point today where she was. So those are decisions you have to make. What's more important? And the other thing is trying to get to full draw in that wind and have an accurate shot. That's crazy. I mean, we're dealing with 50 and 60 kilometer winds.
How about some advice for hunters going into these last couple of days here? What would you tell them as they get set for the last couple of days?
You know, if you're still holding the tag, good luck. You know, this is when the biggest of the big bucks travel, but it can be really slow. If you're spot on the spot, it can be magical. And I think we just had another team member, Gunther, score today as well. He was in the right place, and that's just how it works. So, you know, good luck to everybody still holding the tag and stick with it. Good things can happen.
Kevin, again, job well done. Thanks for the time tonight. Really appreciate it. Pass along our best to Heather. All right, so when we come back, we're going to see Ryan Kohler in Strathcona right here on Bowzone Live. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. Big thanks to all those great sponsors for keeping us rolling on Bowzone Live, bringing these amazing whitetail hunts right from the stand to your living room. Michelle, we've had lots of kills on today's show, which is great, obviously. There's still many of our hunters we're still cheering for. One of them is the always energetic Darryl Legge. Michelle, do you think Darryl might be the next hunter to get one?
Well, I hope so. I hope everyone tags out. But yeah, of course, he's been entertaining all month. He's been spending lots of time in the tree, and he has some funny comments sometimes. But yeah, definitely. I hope he tags out. Yeah, he's been having kind of a little bit of he's been having a hard month. Like he hasn't been. It's been a hard month for everybody, it seems, if you're not by the food, like we were saying with Kevin. So yeah, you know, Darryl, he's having those challenges. Not seeing as many big bucks as he normally sees. So.
He's a character, Michelle, as I think you pointed out there. Let's see what Darryl's been up to.
Well, I didn't see no deer, but a bull moose did come by. It's on a walk, it's all good. No deer, 0 deer. I hear a plane buzzing in the sky. But it's mild temperatures, mild. Most people I've been talking to have not seen much deer the last couple days. We know Ryan got one, but it's pretty slow. Hope for the best. I saw a couple of small bucks this morning. nothing major. Here's something I gotta learn. If your stand's dead and you think you might have a better one, it's not that far, not that hard to get to. Switch it up, go. Wind switch, everything switches. I ended up seeing a good deer. At about 800 yards, I come down. After he left, I came down, went into another spot, another stand, the same quarter. Ended up running into 2 bucks. Then I pushed bull moose up at 40 yards. He's 40 yards, 18 yards from where I am right now, but 40 yards from when I was walking in, standing there looking at me broadside. Don't be afraid to switch it up if you have to. Things can happen. Must be about 1 o'clock. I'm hungry. Nothing like some fresh protein. PB&J's in the tree. It's pretty quiet, so I'm gonna try another rattling sequence here. Let's see what happens. So I'm sitting in a bit of a funnel here, and I rattle most times longer than not long enough, due to the fact that there's so many sublying funnels in these areas and all the noise to get into them. Because why I'm sitting here for a day, half a day, you don't know what's coming and going in other areas around you. At least the squirrels like that. So many squirrels, so many squirrels. I seriously think I just saw a Boone and Crockett squirrel. This thing was a giant. There's a lot of them around. The woodpeckers just started to show up too. You can hear them behind me. We're in the zone and you're watching Bowzone Live. That's a wrap for me.
A little bit of frustration there. Did you pick up on some? Talking about the squirrels, everything but the buck he wants. What'd you make of what we saw from Darryl there?
It's easy to get distracted when you're spending so much time in the tree, and those squirrels are so distracting. My spot too has a ton of squirrels.
Darryl, good luck. Great stuff from you as always. Now, one hunter that has had success on the show is Ryan Kohler. Michelle, we've seen Ryan's Saskatchewan deer. We've seen his Bowzone whitetail. Now we've got another whitetail down in Strathcona County. Michelle, what do you know about hunting on that side of the Bowzone?
I actually am just learning now that I've joined the Bowzone Live crew. I'm just slowly learning about it. So I've never hunted there. I do know that it's a great option if you do tag out early like Ryan did, to be able to move over to Strathcona County and have another buck tag. And I think Ryan was saying it was only about $20 too. So it's not an expensive tag. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Let's see what Ryan sent us.
Okay, the double's complete. We got everybody here hanging out. We got a nice big buck on the ground. Hopefully you're going to watch Bowzone Live, the last show on Tuesday, and we'll show you what happened.
Great video there, Ryan. The last show is actually on Wednesday, the 30th, but good to see that. We'll have the full story on Wednesday's show, the finale of Bowzone Live Season 3. Now, with the season winding down, the hardcore hunters are already making their plans for next year. Something that can help with that is the Moon Guide app. Ryan uses Moon Guide to chase whitetails, and let's take a look at what he has in store for us when it comes to Moon Guide.
The moon guide's amazing. I turn it on. It shows me where the red moons are, the best times to hunt in the month. And I use it every day, every night. I'm addicted to it. It's great.
Short, sweet, and to the point there from Ryan. Another thing that he wanted to pass on to all of the hunters, we have another contest, Michelle. This one, it's just for the hunters of Bowzone Live, by the way. Ryan will choose the biggest deer that the hunter will get a free taxidermy shoulder mount courtesy of Lone Wolf Taxidermy. Michelle, I know Ryan's going to be the judge of that, but who do you think is winning this thing?
Oh.
Just say you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course I want it, yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's a hard question to answer. I don't know. I want to see how it all plays out. I'm excited to see who ends up filling their tags over the next few days. So
3 days remain. More Bowzone Live coming up after this. Welcome back to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with Michelle Van Dam in the Wild TV studios. Michelle, Taylor Thomson hasn't seen the buck he's looking for yet. However, he decided to dedicate yesterday to helping a good buddy of his, Steve Surchak. So let's take a look at what Taylor and Steve were up to yesterday.
All right, well, I just had that buck come in. You can see in the video there, I did a little grunt at it. It came to a rattle, but then it kind of just ignored me. But it worked its way over to a bush that we have another stand in, and my buddy Steve is going to try to sit this afternoon. I got to watch the kids, so I'll be a little tied up. So I want to put him in that stand and tell him to sit tight. And I think that buck, I think I've had video of him a couple times, so he's hanging around, so he might be susceptible to come into the call again. So I'll get Steve up in that stand for this afternoon and see if he has any luck.
Okay.
I just crumpled the buck. Oh, he walked in, he walked out. He was maybe 150 yards away. Kept angling away. I grunted, wouldn't come. I did a quick rattle, he started coming my way. I didn't know which way he was gonna go. Luckily, he took the way I wanted. He walked in about 10 yards.
Okay.
Crumple him. He's out in the field. I gotta go take a look at this thing. I'm pretty excited. Yes.
All right, well, here it is. We're in the last 4 days of November, and Steve knocked down a nice buck. So tell us the story, Steve.
Well, Taylor, I was up in 510 hunting, and I talked to Taylor this morning. He's like, yeah, I had a decent buck come in, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna come down for, I got like 2.5 hunts left. So he said, yeah, I saw this guy this morning, never got close enough, but he might be one for you. So I came in and sat in Taylor's stand, and obviously that's a left-handed stand, dominant, because that's the way it is for him.
Yeah.
And he came out, I don't know, 150, 200 yards, and he started angling away, and I grunted and bleated and nothing, and then finally I gave a little touch of the antlers, and boom, he started walking in. He walked into about 10, 15 yards, and all the rest is history. So
Yeah, perfect shot.
nothing wrong with that.
Easy recovery right in the field here.
I think it was in your old tracks here, so it's a pretty good deal.
I see that. You actually picked exactly my tire track, so that's convenient. So yeah, I finished my sit, and then I drove over here, and we're going to get them loaded up and out here. Congrats.
All the hard work begins.
You bet.
There you go. Congratulations to Steve Taylor helping out his buddy. How much fun is it to get in the stand or be out there with someone else?
Oh, it's great. It's how I love to spend my time. My extra time is, when you're like moose hunting is great with the kids too. You can do whitetail hunting with them as well. But I don't know. It's a great learning opportunity in the outdoors all day long when you're out there with them. So
can't knock team effort, that's for sure. More Bowzone Live right after this. Welcome back to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live here on Wild TV. Tom Gazzola with Michelle Van Dam. A lot of deer going down in the Bowzone, which is great because last episode we're like, oh, is anybody going to get anything? It was just Ryan Kohler. What did you make of what we've seen today?
Oh, it's great. It's awesome. I'm sure it ramps everybody up, gives them a little bit of energy that they need, wrap up these last 3 days, and inspire them to keep spending their time in the tree.
The pressure's off for you. We saw your buck. You're happy. Perfect conditions for you. Our hunters over the next few days, Michelle, what are they going to be going through here with this change in the forecast? How would you approach it if you were still going out there?
Oh, dressing warmer, that's for sure. Yeah, bringing those heated gloves and heated socks, and just make sure you stay warm in the tree. That's most important, so you can be ready when your target buck comes out. So.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, we showed you Gunther's buck that came in late today. Let's take another look at what Gunther Tondelier was able to harvest. We have the photo of it, and Michelle, if you want to describe what you're seeing here from Gunther's buck. I see the smile on Gunther's face, confident guy. He's a great hunter, we all know that. But what do you make of this buck we're looking at here?
Just what a great looking buck. Nice mature deer, those brow tines, the mass on the deer and the mass on the brow tines, like just really cool buck. It's awesome. So happy for Gunther. One day back in the tree, and yeah.
Is it frustrating when he can just go out there one day and wind up with a buck like that?
It's just how it goes.
Just how it goes.
It's just how it goes.
How did you find co-hosting today?
You know what? It was a lot easier than I thought. So, yeah.
Natural.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was
good job today, Michelle Van Dam. All right, 3 days left in the hunting season when it comes to whitetails. We'll be back on Wednesday to wrap it all up on our final episode of Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live. As always, thank you for watching. Good luck to all the hunters out there, especially ours on Bowzone Live. Michelle, fantastic work, great stuff, and look forward to the rest of the season.
Annihilator presents Bowzone Live is brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads and these fine sponsors.